Hello there, my name is Keith, and thank you for checking out this latest movie review. Today we're going to be talking about McFarland, the latest movie starring Academy Award winner Kevin Costner, or as I like to think about him, the guy who never met a sports movie that he didn't like. In this movie, Kevin Costner plays Jim White, or as he's affectionately known in the movie, El Blanco. Jim White is a high school coach who's had, let's just say, some issues with authority in the past. He finds himself moving to McFarland, USA, which is a predominantly Mexican-American community, with his wife and his two daughters. He's trying to fit in there, and he ends up becoming the phys ed coach when he realizes that a couple of his students can run not only very well, but very fast. And the next thing you know, he's putting together a cross-country team. Now, seeing Kevin Costner in sports movies is nothing new. I mean, I can think about all the different sports movies that I've seen him in the past, and they're always very entertaining because his performance is very strong. But I can tell you that this is probably the best Kevin Costner sports movie that has absolutely nothing to do with Kevin Costner. Now, don't get me wrong, he was very good in the movie, but his supporting cast absolutely stole the show. The 7 young men and the 7 young actors who made up his cross-country team were absolutely phenomenal. And if you're not cheering for them by the end of this movie, there's definitely something wrong. Now, these young men are positioned to us in the movie as pickers. So they go to school, but before school and after school, they're with their family picking crops to help support their family. Now, Kevin Costner's character, Jim, goes out with them one day and tries to mirror this work, and he realizes that he can barely do a day of it, let alone have an entire lifestyle around it. These young men aren't privileged as the previous schools that Jim White was teaching at. In fact, these men are the epitome of hard work and perseverance. Now, I don't usually like to read when I'm doing these vlogs, but please forgive me as I want to read out the names of these young actors who absolutely stole this movie. They were Ramiro Rodriguez, Carlos Prats, Johnny Ortiz, Rafael Martinez, Hector Duran, Sergio Avalar, and Michael Aguero. They are thieves because they absolutely stole the show in this movie. Now, I also want to give a commendation to Maria Bello, who was fantastic as Jim White's wife in this movie, or Kevin Costner's wife in this movie. The absolute beauty of this movie is the spotlight that it shines on the Mexican-American culture and just shows how wonderful and how embracing the community is. Something that I think is nice to see as opposed to a lot of the different stereotypes that we've seen in other movies in the past. This movie's by Disney, so you can pretty much figure out how it's going to go, but what you don't know until you see it is how much this movie can potentially affect you, because I thought this movie was absolutely beautiful in so many different ways, and to that end, I'm giving it an A. I sincerely hope that you and the family go and check out this movie because it's beautiful. As always, you can check me out on Twitter at CFL_fan, Facebook.com/WittyWhittier, and WittyWhittier.com. If you happen to go to McFarland and you don't like it, then quite frankly, put out a search warrant on your heart because there's something terribly wrong. As always, I really appreciate you taking the time to check this out, and I'll see you at the movies.